morning. Hello, my name is Lauren Farmer. I'm with the West Virginia Statewide After School Network, and I am here to introduce Charlotte Steinecke and Tiyana Glenn of the Afterschool Alliance. They are going to be presenting today about preparing for Lights On Afterschool, which is coming up very shortly. Charlotte joined the Afterschool Alliance in March 2017 to manage the Afterschool Snack blog and provide editorial and communication support across the organization. Currently, she develops and implements strategic digital communications for the organization, maintains the editorial calendar, coordinates website development, and provides oversight and support for events like Lights On After School. Previously, Charlotte was an editor at Living Social, where she developed travel-themed copy and worked closely with the marketing team. She also has worked in communications at a medical education nonprofit as a constituent contact at the Maryland State Senate and in a florist shop in Tacoma Park. She holds a BA in liberal arts from St. John's College in Annapolis, Maryland. Tiyana joined the Afterschool Alliance in April 2021. As the project associate, she provides support for our national AmeriCorps VISTA project and the national field building initiatives. Before coming to the Alliance, she worked as a program director for an after-school program and for an out-of-school time intermediary. Her work also includes being a White-Riley-Peterson out-of-school time policy fellow, a board member for a few after-school or out-of-school time organizations, and a grant reviewer in the field. Tiyana holds a bachelor's degree in communication studies from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte and a master's degree in family and human development from Arizona State University. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Lauren, for the wonderful introduction. Very excited to be here.
Just repeating what Charlotte said. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be here.
So why don't we get started? I'm going to share my screen really quickly. We have a brief presentation about Lights On After School that Tiyana and I are going to go through, give you the full 360 perspective on Lights On After School. But before we start, could I ask if folks, if you can get into the chat and you don't mind telling us if this is your first time celebrating Lights On After School or 22nd time or anything in between there, we'd love to know. Who's joined us before and who's going to be new this year.
Awesome, there we go.
Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Charlotte. And again, good morning, everyone. I hope your day is going well. Like Charlotte mentioned, we are here to talk about all things Lights On After School. So again, my name is Tiyana Glenn, and I'm with the Afterschool Alliance, and I'm here to talk to you about Lights On After School. So today's presentation is going to be twofold. One, we'll give a broad overview of why advocating for after school is so crucial when it comes to the current policy environment. And then secondly, we'll go over the basics of planning a successful Lights On After School event and discuss some strategies when it comes to engaging policymakers and maximizing the impact of your celebration. Next slide. So what exactly is Lights On After School? So in a typical year, more than 8,000 after-school programs around the country hold events to showcase their programs for Lights On After School. So this October 28th marks the 22nd annual Lights On, with celebrations happening all throughout the month. Lights On After School is a chance for after-school programs to celebrate and showcase exactly what they do every day and make their case to their community, to parents, to policymakers, and to the media that after-school programs are essential for students and their families. And it's also an opportunity to highlight the changing face of what after-school really looks like for kids. So you are providing engaging, hands-on enrichment opportunities for kids to enhance and build upon school-time learning in really unique ways. Some people may be aware of what you're doing, but others may not. So that's why hosting a Lights On After School event is a great opportunity to educate your community and to create brand new advocates. Next slide. So Lights On After School allows you to really bring attention to the need for more after school programs and resources in your community. And it gives you the freedom to create an event that does this in a way that you feel works best for your program and for your area. So partners of Lights On After School include 4-H After School, Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCA, and 21st Century Community Learning Center programs. Lights On After School events generate thousands of newspaper and radio and TV stories from across the country every year. and involved hundreds of local leaders from mayors and superintendents to governors and members of Congress. So now I'm going to pause a little bit. I want to check in the chat to see how many first timers we have, or if we've done, okay, I participated a few times before, awesome. Fourth time. So first and fourth, oh, ninth, okay, awesome. So we have a variety of folks in the group. Okay, perfect. I think the majority is first time. So welcome to our first timers. I'm glad you're here to learn more about Lights On Afterschool. Awesome, perfect. I just wanted to take a second to look into the chat and see who's here in our group. So the point of hosting a Lights On event is to build long-term support for your program and for similar programs in your community and your state. So how can Lights On help sustain and promote your program? Well, as a previous program director, I know from experience that Lights On can really make a difference within your program. The program that I managed was a new program in the area. So overall, our goal was to create awareness about the program. We followed the helpful steps from the Afterschool Alliance, which we'll go into great detail in just a minute, to make our Lights On events successful. So the steps include registering your event. We had students work on Lights On art. We shared on social media. And we even opened up our program to stakeholders in the area for a site visit. One year in particular, during the opening of a second site, we had a ribbon cutting event where we were able to have the city's mayor, an NBA player, and other prominent community members come to recognize our program for Lights On. So thanks to the news sources that we had at the event, we were able to increase our enrollment to the point where we had a wait list for all the grades that we served. So even now, no longer being a program director, I share the resources of Lights On and support the work of other organizations shining the lights onto their program. So this work has even led to a proclamation of Lights On Afterschool Day from the governor of my state. So consider how Lights On can help sustain and promote your program. Plan your event so that it can help meet your current goals, whether that is to get more parents to know about your program, educating local policymakers, teachers, and school leaders about what you do, or just getting the local businesses involved, or recognizing a staff member, or even just promoting a particular initiative. Next slide. And as we know, Lights On will be different this year. We will have health protocols to follow. We may not want to gather in large groups, but it's still important to take the moment to celebrate what you've done and continue to do. After-school programs have done so much to support children and their families. We need to showcase that work, and I encourage you to take the moment to celebrate yourselves and the work that you do. The pandemic has forced us to be creative and innovative, and Lights On is no exception. Last year, programs celebrated in so many different ways, from virtual showcases to outdoor artwork to lighting up bridges and parks. And we even held a nationwide virtual event that was attended by thousands of youth, parents, programs, and leaders. We even had an astronaut from NASA, the Empire State Building, and an American Idol winner celebrate with us. It was truly an inspiration to see. Next slide. So Lights On after-school events, they do not need to be difficult to plan or expensive in order for it to be effective. So now I'm gonna pass it over to Charlotte to go over 3 very easy steps when it comes to creating a great Lights On after-school event. Charlotte?
Thank you so much, Tiyana. So yeah, we're going to go through a couple of the steps to completing a Lights On After School event. And one of the things I want to emphasize right at the top is that this is a celebration. I am about to throw a lot of information at you. And in a normal year, maybe we could do all of it, but it's been busy for everybody. So I'm going to mention right off of the dome here that we will be bringing back one of our virtual, actually 3 virtual celebrations on the actual week of Lights On After School itself. And if you would like to participate in any of those events or all of them, we would love to have you. I've got a couple of screens going here, so I will drop some links in a little bit, but I want to remind everybody, this is meant to be fun. We're not trying to add a whole bunch to your plate. But for those of you who have the bandwidth and are ready to celebrate another really big year, here's how we do it. So first of all, the very first thing that needs to be done is to register your event. This is quite literally the only way we know that an event is going on, and we will include you in the total count of events, which is fantastic. That's where we get that 8,000 number of programs celebrating with us and our approximation of about 1 million Americans joining us across the nation. So when you register your event, You are going to be signed up to receive 10 free posters to promote Lights On After School in your community and to decorate your event space. We will make sure that those go out to you if you register your event before October 14th. We're pretty sure that that's the last day by which we can get an order into our poster printer and make sure that they arrive within ahead of Lights On After School. So if you would like to visit 3to6.co/register, you'll be able to go ahead and create your account or to sign into the account you may have used last year. And that will get the ball moving. So as I mentioned, you get 10 free posters. You'll be listed on the After School site, which will produce a list that we then share with policymakers, both at the national, state, and local level. So not both, but and we also will then get in touch with you with weekly planning tips so that if you have 4 weeks or fewer to create an event, we will help you get everything that you need to put on your checklist of actions. So I'll also mention that if you sign up for your Lights On After School event, you will also be entered into some of our prize giveaways and raffles. We have a prize giveaway every week with really cool giveaways from folks like Scholastic, from STEMfinity. We partner with 4-H After School to share out some of their really cool STEM kits for their Galactic Quest this year. So there's a lot of really fun stuff that you will be eligible to win if you are selected from the raffle. So if you want to maybe get some cool swag for your program or something fun to do with your kids, I think this would be a good time to do that. So again, I'll just reiterate that registering with us is the only way that we know you're going to have an event. It's the only way that we can provide free resources to you to help plan and celebrate. So please do, if you're on the fence, go ahead, click the button, let us know what your plans are. So step number 2 is now planning your event. And this is, of course, where a lot of the meat gets put on Lights On After School Day. We have a couple of resources that are ready to use if you are planning either an in-person or a online event, or if you're thinking of doing some kind of hybrid event. We have seen that plenty of people are now on social media celebrating. So that's a great opportunity to make some waves in virtual space. So we have an updated toolkit that you can access at 3to6.co/virtual-lights-on. It contains all sorts of different theme ideas, from STEM learning activities to health and wellness, social emotional learning, entrepreneurship, lighting up landmarks in your community. We have tons of ideas for not only how to celebrate, but also how to make sure that Lights On After School is visible, in particular to those stakeholders like mayors, city council members, folks who are in decision-making capacities in your community. Because after all, we really do believe that seeing is believing when it comes to after-school programs. And if you can show the amazing things that you are doing in your community, for your community and with your kids, it makes it a lot easier to remember how important and unique and valuable these programs are when we get into budget considerations. So again, I mentioned some of the different themes that we'll be celebrating this year. We will have, in addition to these different themes that can help narrow your focus and come up with an event that really fits your program and your area's goals and needs, we also have lots of sample materials, including invitations and activities for policymakers, business leaders, all sorts of different groups, including folks in the media. We have graphics and logos that you can download and use on social media. We have timelines and checklists to help keep you very organized and to use some of the most popular resources that we've developed over the years. We've got different ideas that can spark inspiration, as well as case studies that go into depth on what different programs have done. We have media materials that you can edit to your specific after-school program and then share out in PSAs, in media alerts, in calendars for the community, all sorts of different things to make sure that everybody is hearing about what you are doing. We have handouts and talking points to help share the after-school story with your community. And we have entire sections on how to actually reach out and engage the media, engage policymakers, reach out and make those connections during this really sort of centerpiece moment in the after-school year. So thinking beyond events, there are a couple of ways that you can bring Lights On into your community. So obviously, if you're planning an event, that will be one big central activity and one big central day. But you can also do other things to make sure that that after school awareness is really out there. And these can be super simple. They do not need to be massively complicated. If you have kids that are ready to do some awesome artwork, we love to see that in windows and displayed around your facility and sometimes out on the lawn. I've seen people make their own like posters by sticking popsicle sticks on kid art and just right in the yard. And I think it's fantastic. It's a great way to use it. You can also get creative with art installations in public spaces. Last year, we saw actually quite a few car parades, which I think is a really fun way to bring Lights On out into the community. We also saw folks that were hanging posters in town or turning posters into yard signs by sticking them on foam core. You can also, if you have any community boards or community spaces in grocery stores or community centers, I would strongly recommend putting some posters up there to let people know that this is happening and that they can join even online if they're not necessarily comfortable meeting in a public space. I'll also just mention, Tiyana talked a little bit about some of the events that involve lighting up landmarks. So this year, we're very excited to say that the Empire State Building is joining us for the 15th consecutive year to light up the New York skyline. We're very excited about that. We've also heard that the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center in West Virginia is going to be lighting up. So thank you very much to the team in West Virginia for making that wonderful building light up. It's going to be really, really cool. And we will be glued to social media to see what happens. But I would say even in addition to some of these big landmarks that we love to see every year, I'm a big fan of making your event and your facility a landmark itself. So whether that's doing a little light show with flashlights or a projector on the side of a wall, I think that there are different ways, or even a lantern lighting, honestly. I think that there are a lot of ways that you can kind of pull that lighting up after school theme into your event space, if that's something that you would like. And when it's dark, there are very few things that are more noticeable than a wonderful light up event. So I would strongly recommend that if you need something quick and fun to do that nevertheless gets attention to your space. I'll also mention that this year we have plenty of proclamations out at the state level to ask governors to declare Lights On After School Day on Thursday, October 28th. And the West Virginia proclamation is out. I believe that we're waiting on approval, but it's coming down the pike any day now. But I'd also recommend that if you are interested or you want to make a connection with your mayor, town hall, city council, it would be a great idea to ask them to proclaim Lights On After School Day. We have a template you can use in our event planning kit. And this is kind of a great way to hit two birds with one stone, because of course you're necessarily making that connection to a policymaker because you're asking them to do something and exposing them to after school, but you're also then celebrating after school all in on its own. And if you have a proclamation, reading that, having a snack, really kind of a fun like mini event, I think that would be delightful. It also helps just forge that attention in the community. There are definitely local newspapers and blogs that report on events and proclamations. So really just a great comprehensive way to get the word out there and to get after school included in the public record. Now, one, of course, very big element of Lights On After School is that it takes place across the nation. We estimate that in an ordinary year, there are about 8,000 events that happen nationwide, and that attract, again, about 1 million people. But that does not count all the things that are going on social media and online. So we would love you to join us on social media under the hashtag Lights On After School to see photos and videos of your students participating in activities, to recognize staff members who have really gone above and beyond in the past 18 months, and to share stories of students and families and how after school is making an impact on their lives. This is an opportunity to really reach a lot of people that you wouldn't ordinarily get in contact with, and to be included in all of the things that are going on across the country for Lights On After School. So we're celebrating in West Virginia, we're celebrating nationwide, and it's fun to connect those things and to show that this is all part of a huge nationwide movement. To help with that social media work, we've also got our light bulb challenge that this is now its 5th year. We invite folks who maybe are not going to be, who are or are not meeting with kids during the day to strike our Lights On After School little light bulb pose and to share it on social media, especially to challenge friends and connections to get the word out. And to help with some of that, we're bringing back our wonderful Lights On After School Instagram filters. So if you want to take a portrait, we've got plenty of tools you can use to share on social media with that. That is all available under our social media kit, which is at 3to6.co/lightsonsocial. And you'll also find that this social media kit has tons of plug and play copy that is ready to go. We've got a lot of graphics, a lot of recommendations for what to talk about when and when to share out different reminders to your community and your connections. So if you are hunting around for any kind of social media support, we've got you covered. So please head over to 3to6.co/lightsonsocial to get everything you need. And of course, step 3 is just to celebrate. You've done all the hard work. You've done the whole enchilada, I guess I would say. You've not only weathered a interesting couple of months, but you've also stepped up to create a wonderful event for your kids, for your families, for the parents, for the community. It's important to take this and enjoy the moment. You need to celebrate your accomplishments and the accomplishments of your staff, and to acknowledge everything that you really have truly done for youth and families near you. It's been a really challenging year, and I know it's trite to acknowledge that, but it's important that we take a moment to have some fun with what we've been doing, and to have fun with our kids and with our community members and our colleagues, because we want this to be a moment to shine with Lights On After School, and take a moment to reflect on the amazing field that you all are a part of and that we are very privileged to be able to support. So with all of that in mind, I'll bring over to our final slide of this presentation and mention that please visit us at 3to6.co/lightson. We have all sorts of resources, as well as our 2 of our upcoming 3 events that we're very excited and hopeful that you will join us for. The centerpiece of Lights On After School this year for us will be our Youth Voice Town Hall. We're very thrilled to have some amazing young people, amazing after school advocates who are going to be sharing what has been happening with them, the impact of after school on their lives, how it's affected them in their communities, as well as an opportunity to just have a roundtable and really put young people at the center and the heart of what we're doing here this year. So I will drop some of those links into the chat in a few minutes, but with that, I think, Tiyana, maybe we can field some questions or talk a little bit, hear from some folks about what they want to do this year.
Yes, also, thank you, Charlotte. So yeah, we definitely have some time for some questions. We just wanted to be here as another resource. So outside of everything that we just presented to you all, we do want to take some time to answer any questions you may have that we can provide some assistance with. So I'll just give a few moments, maybe if you want to drop it in the chat, that will be super helpful, so that way we can read it out loud and answer. And as we're waiting for questions to come, I know one of the questions that we get often is like, where do I start? And of course, you want to start with the steps that, Charlotte went over, but I think even before that, you really want to just take the time to think, why am I doing Lights On? What is my purpose? So like the example I used before, being a program director of a new program, we just want people to know we were here, we were in town, please sign your kids up for our program. So it doesn't have to be anything super, super elaborate. Take your time, really figure out what your purpose is, what's your goal. Whether it's just getting more kids enrolled in your program, you want the community to know about your program, whether it's funding reasons, things of that nature, really focus on the purpose and the point of why you want Lights On to happen in the first place. And then from there, work on an event. And an event, like we said, doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be super difficult, anything of that nature. Definitely do not overwhelm yourselves. We get it. We know that you all are facing, the pandemic. We're still in this pandemic, and you're still trying to provide these great resources and services to students. So please do not feel like you have to overwhelm yourself by planning a super elaborate event or super, expensive event. Do what you can manage within your program. And that's all that we're looking forward to, is just, what is being done out there in the field, so that way we can celebrate you.
Yeah, I have heard from some amazing programs recently who have been doing Lights On, for many years. And one of the things that they emphasize is that in the first year, it makes a lot of sense to start small. If there's something that you want to do and you have a discrete goal, say it's like, I just want to make some connections to business leaders in my community because they're influential and we care about them. It makes a lot of sense to focus really narrowly on that one thing. And then if you want to, next year, you can always build on that when you have a little bit more experience with Lights On After School. So for my first timers, I would really recommend, don't kill yourself over this. We're going to be doing this for another 22 years, ideally. So there's always time to grow and to expand. So it's not necessarily to hit the ground running. This really is meant to be an opportunity to celebrate what you're doing, to be true to your program and to your needs in your area, and to kind of take a moment to just breathe in a lot of ways. I think that anything we can do to foster that and to provide resources to help with that is something that we at the Afterschool Alliance are always looking to do. So if you have particular needs, please let us know. We are here to help, and the resources are only as good as they're useful to you. So.
And I see in the chat that a lot of folks said that they participated in the light bulb art, or they are planning to. And honestly, that's what I did for my first Lights On event. That's what we did. We had the kids, cut out the light bulb and color, because that was what was easiest for us to do at the time. So it was as simple as of course, registering their event, but we took the time for the kids to color it, took pictures, put it on social media, and that was our Lights On event. So that's what it started off as, year one. And then we were able to build up to where, we had the event of a ribbon cutting, and we had folks come and, news outlets and things of that nature. So that's definitely a great way to start, whether it's just doing your light bulb art and posting on social media, that is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely, I'll drop a link to the Lights On Afterschool hashtag, which we are already seeing popping off, which is delightful. It is now fully October, if we've seen that going. But I think, yeah, I love in particular encouraging people to just join us on social media. Like, it honestly makes a huge difference to see how many people are doing so many cool things and just sharing the after school bug this season. And then I popped in a little while ago our Youth Voice Town Hall link. We're also going to be working with River City Drums to celebrate some of the work that they've been doing. They have a new documentary that was made about them. So we're going to have a screening and also share a little bit of information about them. And we're also working closely with NASA to create another wonderful STEM event. So really looking forward to those. But if you're really strapped for time and you want to still have a celebration, strongly recommend joining us for a virtual event. There's no reason to plan too intensely if you're busy and you just want to join us, because we're happy to take that one on.
And I see we do have one question that came through the chat. Is Lights On applicable to public school after school programs that only operate for a few months? Yes.
Yeah.
Simple answer, yes. And any type of after school program, we're looking forward to see what you all are doing. So like we mentioned before, the different partners we have, whether it's, 4-H, Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCA, 21st Century Learning Community Programs. This example right here, the public school after school program. Yes. And this is totally free. It's free as well. Let me throw that in there.
Yes.
We haven't said it enough.
Yeah, if you're doing anything after school or celebrating, we want to hear about it. We have policymakers celebrating Lights On After School. We got the Empire State Building. They're not necessarily after school activities themselves, but they are advocates. So truly and sincerely, Lights On After School is for everyone. So we would be excited to have you.
And it looks like the network there in West Virginia has a limited amount of swag. So if you're able to swing by their office in Charleston, make sure you swing by to get that free swag that Charlotte mentioned before.
There's lots of, we've got some blinky buttons, we've got bracelets. So also feel free to, I'll pop in a link to the swag portal that we use. Those are for sale. I'm afraid we don't give those away except on certain weeks. So if you register, you will be eligible for a giveaway within the next, 3 weeks. So please do consider signing up.
Awesome. And I think someone said they're having difficulty with sound. So CH Thomas, if there are any follow-up questions that you may have, feel free to contact us. I'm not sure if you're able to even hear that as I'm talking out loud. So maybe we could just drop our emails or drop something in the chat so that way they're able to connect with us if they're able. Okay, everyone else said my sound is fine. Okay, perfect. Any other questions while we still have some time? Thoughts or ideas? Okay, I think maybe we covered it all. Maybe we hit the nail on the head with the Lights On After School. So I just wanted to reiterate, and Charlotte mentioned this as well. Really just take the time, especially since we have a lot of first timers on this call. Just really find out what your purpose and your goal is, and just start from there and start small. It doesn't have to be anything overwhelming. And we're here as a resource. Please make sure you check out the links that Charlotte has dropped in the chat. Super, super helpful. I know from personal experience, it's super helpful. Anything you could think of that you want is on there. Any type of resource that, things that you won't even think about is on that website. Trust me, everything is there. The Afterschool Alliance does a great job of making sure that everything is covered. So kudos to our team there. So feel free and, oh, perfect, thank you. So feel free if you need any help. We dropped the address right there in the chat. So if you have any questions or just want to brainstorm some things, feel free to drop it in the chat. And then also, this is being recorded. So, if for those that are having trouble with the sound, hopefully you'll be able to view this at another time to hear all the great things that we went over.
And if we want to brainstorm a little bit or to think through anything that is still going on, I will just mention that every year we produce a list of verified events that took place. So we have a huge collection of ideas from 2020, 2020, 2020, 2019, 2018, all the way back, donkey's years really, of Lights On After School activities. So if you have any, if you think to yourself, there's no way that I can do a whole event this year, believe me, people have done a small thing that is so big, because if it connects in with everybody else celebrating, I think that's the whole point, right? It's every after school program is essential, but it's when they all get together and can form into a movement that we really see this wonderful recognition and acknowledgement and of the central place that after school programs play in the lives of kids. So really, thank you all so much for taking some time out of your conference to talk with us and to consider doing Lights On After School. We really hope to see you and that it will be fun.
Yes, thank you all so much.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Tiyana. Thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. And hopefully these great resources, they have a lot of resources. Hope these are helpful for you guys in planning your event. I also want to mention that there is a conference forum. So if anybody wants to, share ideas or talk about Lights On After School following this session, you could start a forum conversation regarding Lights On After School. So there should be a tab, I believe, at the top of the webpage if you want to access that. But thanks again, everybody, and good luck with your events. And I look forward to seeing all those social media posts and pictures of events and, the lighting up of the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. So Again, if you are in the Charleston area and you want some swag, just let me know. My email, I'll put it in the chat, but it is lauren.farmer@mail.wvu.edu. And I'll put my phone number in the chat too, but just contact me. Again, we have a limited amount, so when it's gone, it's gone. But if you're able to pick it up from our office, we'd be happy to share some with you guys.
So I mentioned it in the chat, but I'll just say it out loud that if anyone wants to get in touch with us at the Afterschool Alliance about Lights on Afterschool, you can reach out to us at LOA@afterschoolalliance.org. So we're here for you. We're keeping an eye on that email all day, every day. So please do not be shy about reaching out if you have specific needs or specific questions, because we're here to help. I guess, do we want to maybe leave the chat open so if folks want to share or talk a little bit, brainstorm? In the last little while, we have that.
I did think of one thing, Charlotte, you probably can get to it quicker than I can, but we did have a webinar a few weeks ago where we had some partners from the field come in and share their past events and what they've done in the past as far as for Lights On After School. So I'm not sure if, like I said, Charlotte probably can get to it quicker than I can, but maybe share the link where folks can rewatch that webinar. But I think that might be super helpful, especially for first timers, to kind of get an idea and brainstorm of what type of events they can hold. And I think, our partner shared about, virtual events and in-person events and things of that nature. So it was really, really, exactly. Perfect. Thank you so much. So that's another great resource to watch that webinar, because packed down with a lot of different examples and ideas, especially for first timers.
Yeah, I was, we had Mark Kausert, the Associate Director of Policy and Partnerships in Missouri. The Missouri After School Network shared his experience on all things Lights On After School. And of course, Tiyana was one of our speakers, as well as Joanna Friedel from Texas and Erin Maloney in St. Louis. And honestly, it was really, really cool to hear the variety of different ways in which people celebrate, and folks who have done it for 10 years, folks who've done it for 0 years are all celebrating together. And while the ideas are different and the needs are different, the goals are different, there is that connection. I think that's really, really essential, which is why I've been beating that social media drum so very, very hard during this conversation. But strongly recommend taking a look. There's a lot of really cool inspiration out there, and this group of people is just wonderful. You're going to feel very hype.
Awesome. So I know we have a lot of first timers in the group, but has anyone thought of any ideas yet, or has anything sparked off as we were talking, as far as what do you all plan on doing for Lights On? I'm just curious to know.
And also, even if I can kind of piggyback on that a little bit and say, if there's anything that you're thinking, oh, I'm not doing it this year because X, Y, or Z, if there's anything that's a stumbling block, I can't guarantee that I can fix it, but I can definitely take it back to my team and figure out, okay, how can we make this helpful? How can we make something that would help alleviate some of that pain point? Ooh, what is a pumpkin drop?
I know.
Oh, it's literally, do you drop it off a building? Testing gravity? I would like to know about that.
I know. That's different.
Sounds like fun. Someone in South Dakota is lighting up apparently the world's only corn palace, which I had never heard of before. So I'm very I love all the Halloween, fall, autumnal harvest activities. Anything involving pumpkins, or lighting up a pumpkin, carve a little light bulb into a pumpkin. It would be great. Okay, Brittany Reed says, in seeing your ideas, we are doing them at our 10 schools. We have trifold poster boards about getting art teachers to design light bulbs for kids to decorate, and everyone who
Ooh.
joins will that evening signing it like a pledge. That is so cool.
That's
I would love to see
awesome.
those designs. Please put them on social media. That kind of stuff is so cool. Love to see that. Awesome idea.
So any more ideas or thoughts? Oh, Charlie, you gotta say something.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I do. I also want to correct myself. West Virginia has received its proclamation, so there will be officially Lights On After School Day on the 28th of October. So thank you, West Virginia. That is so exciting. We're aiming to get all 50 states to at least submit a proclamation, and to have proclamations already rolling in is super cool. So big kudos. You guys are going to have the best time. Very, very, very excited for you. Oh, trunk or treat. That sounds like so much fun. Jessica, Jesselia Posey mentioned in the chat that they're doing a trunk or treat on the 28th. It would make fun, and they might do lanterns and challenge parents to leave their porch lights on. That's such a good idea. I was talking faster than my brain kept up, but having parents keep their light on for after school is so fun. That is a fabulous idea, Jesselia.
Okay, I see some implementation of STEM activities for Lights On. Awesome. Oh, yeah, using lanterns to release. I like these ideas. I haven't heard of some of these. Yeah.
They're really cool. I'll also say that one thing, like in addition to lighting up your facility, a lot of times city halls or like local fountains in parks or things like that are already lit up. And if you ask, you can often find that people are willing to dedicate a lighting to a specific day or a specific event. It doesn't hurt to ask at all. And sometimes they light up in different colors and all sorts of things. It can be really eye-catching, and it doesn't need to be like a bridge, you know, it doesn't need to be this big thing. If it's something that matters to your community, I think that that is honestly the more important thing to light up, really. Including like marquee boards for theaters and stuff like that. Sometimes we see people do those kinds of things, really getting, or, you know, sometimes churches will also take their marquee board and dedicate it to Lights On After School. So anything that has that kind of visibility in the community, I think that's a really fun way to get the word out.
See, Katie says that they're doing an all-day cooking event with the mayor. Oh, and they're going to have it on live stream. That sounds
so
really good. Yeah.
You got to drop us that link. I want to cook with the mayor of Charleston. I'm gonna be working it all day. Like
I will drop the link. So we're doing it 10 to 6. And so at 10, we're having a community member and her husband come in. They have a restaurant and she just does a lot in the community. At noon, we're having, like, if you've seen the Great British Baking Show, we're having it with like our site coordinators. So we're going to have like a cook-off at noon. And then at 2, we're having a delegate come in. At 4, we're having the mayor. And then at 6, we're having our students do a cook-off. So it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be an all-day celebration of Lights On. We even have
so cool.
The place where we're having this too, we have a lot of lights on the ceiling and on the walls in our gym. So maybe we can get permission to turn those on at some point to signify the Lights On After School. We'll see.
That sounds like so much fun. I am so excited about that live stream. That is a brilliant idea. I love like bringing the community in and also broadcasting it. Like, exactly. You got the whole picture. It's so exciting. And I definitely see like fall carnival, open houses, pumpkin carving, pumpkin picking, pumpkin dropping, all of it. Perfect. I love it. Very thematic.
Also, any last minute sharing of plans or questions before we wrap up? I know we have, I think, maybe 15 minutes left of the session, but we are more than welcome to give that 15 minutes back to you all. because I know everyone is super busy.
Got a long day of sessions ahead of you.
Exactly.
Just get up and get a cup of coffee. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you all taking the time, and to Lauren for inviting us. This was absolutely the best. Had a really good time. See you all online, I guess.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have
Y'all
a
take care.
good rest of your afternoon.
You too.
Bye.